We walk what I'm calling a Dallas Cowboys corridor. As you can tell, we are at a Cowboys home game. Yes, I understand that we are in Los Angeles, Inglewood, technically SoFi Stadium, but this is basically AT&T West. So follow me this way. We're gonna see if we can find a couple of fans. We are infiltrating enemy territory. The Cowboy fans are doing it right. We got the signage, we got the great food, we got the inflatables. Thoughts on today's game?
We're gonna beat the shit out of them.
Woo! You see this right here? How do you feel about today's game?
We better win, that's all I know.
How do you feel about Dak Prescott after last week's performance?
Dak Prescott has been very consistent with the division. He has took us back-to-back 12-5 seasons. You know what I mean? His winning record is above. You can say what you want about the past 7 years, but on our division, he has been owning it for years.
Are you a Dak rider or are you a Dak hater?
Before he broke his finger, I was a rider. Now, nah. They need to let him go now.
You know Dak Prescott's watching this right now, right? Actually follows the Camp Fan podcast.
Wait.
Woo! Let's go!
Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation, son! Let's go! Cowboys Nation represent! Cowboys Nation represent! Let's go! Get out of here!
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. All day, every day.
Crack 'em if you got 'em, Seattle.
Here we are at Lumen Field. And is that a Harry Potter reference? Maybe. I don't know. I've casted a lot of Lumen spells.
Lumen videos.
We want to see Deuce represent. We want to see him repeat. I want some repeats. And I don't need 3 beats if they repeat.
I don't need 3 beats.
I don't need
if
3
they
beats.
repeat.
If they repeat. Let's go.
You don't think we're gonna make the postseason?
Maybe wild card.
So this is
Maybe wild card.
This is where I'm like, I'm good for a good ribbing, but like to say we're not gonna make the postseason, now I can't even argue with you. Because you've oh god.
You know it too. You know it.
Who's your quarterback?
Fucking we got it.
This is our year.
Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Look at those dudes. Let's go!
Let's go, Cowboys! Let's go, baby! Cowboys Nation showing up!
Most pristine athletes in modern history playing in the NFL. Even the offensive linemen are incredibly athletic. I mean, these guys are over 300 pounds, and you know they can
Not only the size, but the speed of the linemen. Are you kidding
fly
me?
on the field.
You're telling me a guy that's 330 pounds meant to block a guy that's 290 pounds is faster than me, a sporty 240?
High 240. High 240. High 240.
I could beat any one of those guys right now, and I've drank a 6-pack.
What? You're wearing Crocs.
My 40 time is better than any of them.
Erroneous. Erroneous.
Erroneous.
Erroneous on all accounts.
I've never been more sure of anything in my life.
How'd I do?
13-5.
Final quarter, here we go, baby!
CD for the CD, baby!
And I'm going for 2.
Woo!
I don't know why my safety was just playing off so far.
Tackle him!
Yeah, well, I might be a boomer, but you sound like a pipsqueak. You don't even know how old I am.
No!
You little shit.
You didn't win the game, I lost it!
Make sure you know where he is because he understands how to
Call
get
that a
open
throw?
in key situations.
I might be old, but at least I don't still piss my pants.
Protect you and your loved ones with Crackem VPN.
Ever heard the game Marry, Kill? Okay, like, yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 people, and you're gonna decide who will you marry, who will you who will you kill?
Okay.
Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo.
Marry Jerry. He's got all the monies. Probably Tony. Dak Prescott. Gotta kill him.
I'm a Romo.
She's gonna with Romo.
I'm gonna marry Dak.
She's gonna marry Dak.
I'm gonna kill Jones.
She's gonna kill Jerry Jones. Who will you marry, kill between Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, and then Tony Romo?
I'm out.
Jerry Jones, you.
So Jerry?
Jerry Jones, you.
Okay. Who will you marry, Dak Prescott or Tony Romo? Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
So that means you would kill Dak?
Yes.
Marry Dak, kill Jerry Jones,
Jerry Jones, poor Jerry.
Tony Romo.
Why not? He's probably one of the best commentators, announcers on the game right now.
Tony Romo? That's mine. That's mine.
Jerry Jones, right now. Right now.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it.
We need trash can.
Oh, here we go.
AJ, you have to sleep in this for the night. Yep. Football we already got. AJ's trying to take a piss right now. Trash can.
Stickers.
Stickers.
Couple stickies.
Couple stickies.
Yes.
So we got a trash can. We're gonna go test it out in the toy aisle.
You're not getting it first try. He's not getting it. Give these guys a shot. They'll win a jersey if they get it. Oh, none of us made it. Come on, Dad. You get a free Cowboys jersey if you get it. None of us have made it. Dad's going for a shot. Come on, let's get it. Oh, that was the closest one.
Felt like the closest.
Bro? Yeah. We all missed it, so don't worry about it. We missed it. You guys going to the game tomorrow? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Us too.
Not only are we giving away 3 jerseys for whoever can toss a football into that can, we're also going to be leaving the can so someone can take that home too.
Look, there's still practicing. Always right set.
Hey, guys, what are you doing here?
Game day, baby.
Game day, baby. Woo!
Kickoff's a month away.
Yeah, but we gotta get our reps in.
Yeah. They train, we train. Crack 'em, bro.
No, it's 7:30 and it's a Wednesday.
Road pop.
Oh! No, I'm going to work and I'm driving. Get out of my car. That means you got him.
Super Bowl! Super Bowl! Super Bowl!
Let's get it.
Guys, can we just get one? I mean,
Let's just get one. Doing the mojo moment. We got Dak Prescott in there. What they do is they're running one play, and then right after they just.
Hey! Hey! Still them boys. Still them boys. Still them boys. Still them boys.
Yep.
Still them boys. Still them boys.
Well, you call me Alex.
Still them boys.
I'm not gonna freeze that.
Oh, I thought.
Was that AI? Was that one of those AI made songs that you guys have been so into? Because you had me. I thought that was AI.
AI would-
going there. 'Cause the lyrics were so good.
Well, and you know what? It was an AI song. I ripped it off, and I'm in a legal battle.
He's in a legal dispute.
Well, can't you? What's gonna happen when AI starts suing people?
Oh yeah. Imagine
What's
that.
gonna happen? That's how the great AI battles are gonna start over copyrighted content.
AI sues another AI.
At this point, I am still on board with, you see those movies, futuristic movies, and the robots have integrated into society, the AI robots, and then
But like, there's always some people who hate them, and you're not human. They beat them up, and then it's revealed the hot chick gets hit with a hammer, and then her like metal skull is exposed.
Right.
Oh, she's an AI.
Yep.
Well, I am on board in the movies with that because I don't think that they're humans, but you'd have to be kind of a crazy psycho to like want to kill those robots.
Oh, yeah.
So
My thing is, if you're gonna make robots like iRobot, why are they able to jump 50 feet in the air and do all this other crazy shit? Like, just make them so that
or
if they
make them
do
fat
revolt,
fat
you can
robots.
just push them. You can just push them down, and they just kind of crumble.
Right, or
like, don't make them strong.
Superhuman strength.
Yeah, why are they
but
flying around and jumping around and sprinting at all-time speeds? Like, let's not make them into superhumans. Let's just make them super smart.
Funny thing is, and it was a good movie. I went and watched Companion, with the dude from The Boys, the lead from The Boys.
Yep.
And it was a good movie, but it does kind of address that issue that you have, Anthony. So just saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I also do feel like at the great AI trials, this clip is going to be getting pulled up for all of us.
Oh yeah. So Mr. Johnson and Mr. Bess and Mr. Bess. They still can't get it right.
It's funny. Every other Cowboys podcast is talking about the Luka trade in the NBA, and we just start off like hot going into AI talk. That's because we're the bad boys of Cowboys podcasting.
That's right, baby.
You know, I don't watch basketball, but since you brought it up, let me give you my quick 2 cents.
Now, before you bring your 2 cents, do you want to double or do you, okay?
Well,
technically, it's a triple because they're 1.5s. So when I do a double of 1.5, it's technically
that's just
triple.
math.
Hey, but it's 2 shots. 2 shots. It's just 2. Look, I think on the surface value, it's like such a young dude and Luka being traded for an older gentleman, different positions. I don't understand the positions that well. However, if there was any sort of animosity between the guy who you want to be building the team around and the squad, and I believe that they just had a new GM come in the last, say, 2 or 3 years. Correct me if you got him. Then I think it might make sense. Basketball, it's one of those weird sports, though. There's not many players in the league just in general. And you see,
what is it, like 10 to 10? Like, how many on a team even?
I think there's a max of 15, 15, 14, somewhere in there. So then do the math. Like maybe 3 NFL teams, crack them if you got them, make up the entire roster. So, and all that it's just like basketball seems so weird in sure, that must have been a shocking trade, but it seems like there's a big trade like that every year or every couple years where it's like these blockbuster trades are much more frequently in the NBA. That being said, I don't really give 2 shits. And Luka does look like he's getting a little bit more thick, so maybe that's why I decided to move on.
Shitty to be like Cowboys fans that are from the DFW, like the Dallas Metroplex. Man, I feel bad for those guys that are like, well, the Mavs went to the NBA Finals last year, and now they're trading away their all-star player. So again, I don't give 2 fucks about basketball, but it was huge news, and on all the pages that I follow on Instagram or any other social media, they covered it quite a bit. So I thought it'd be funny to touch on, and it's a good segue into trade talk if that's the route we were going. But I don't know, because there's lots of that floating around in the football world too right now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that floating around. I just want to take a quick shout out to the chat.
You are the people's champ.
Boots on the ground says, is it me or is out of studio Anth too sober? It's not true.
Hey, let's get it.
Let's get it. Chug it.
Ant's always just got on deck just one of those tall boy.
Oh man,
shit! Always
one of these, or the ones in Vegas that are tall boys but also fat boys. That's what I was drinking.
A liter.
Those things are they're massive. Those things are the size of your forearm, pretty much.
They give you the Hobbit vibe, or at least with me.
I was gonna say Adam and I just lived that permanently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, like big news on the docket here are Cooper Kupp and Myles Garrett are kind of both, I believe, back to back nearly announced as trade candidates here. Myles Garrett requesting a trade, and LA kind of packing up Cooper Kupp shit for him.
See you later, Coop.
Cooper doesn't want want to trade, and it makes sense. He's 31 years old. He probably was like, I could like finish my 3 more years, whatever, finish my career here in LA. And I'm sure it's a lovely place to live, especially if you've been there for so long. Myles Garrett, on the other hand, looking for a championship, still young enough. I think maybe only
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
More than he has a chance to be this year. He was last year. Like, the guy's still in his prime. He's 29.
Yeah.
Completely. He's got his his whole next contract. He's still going to be in his prime. The guy's a fucking genetic freak.
And I think for either of these guys, the contract that they would more than likely be signing with another team would be, say, I don't know, 3 to 4 years, maybe, probably 3 years. Let's just say, keep it simple. They're both going to be able to perform at the at their level for those years, I would assume, right? After those contracts, both of them may start to follow. Like, I think Cooper Kupp is already kind of taken a step back from where he was. Could that have been due to Puka Nacua? Potentially. But we know who he is, and we know he can be consistent. And if he's staying on the field, I think he's worth it for any team. So, but those two guys, what are your thoughts on either of these players? Or actually, I guess, what are the potential chances that either of those players end up on a Dallas Cowboys roster? And maybe, Anth, what would you give up for each of those guys to make it like worth your while?
Well, it's funny that you brought up, like, they're completely opposite right now in their situations, where one's trying to get to a new team and the other one's like, why are you getting rid of me now? I have envisioned myself retiring here. They're like, it's like a pirate scene when they're making the guy walk the plank or something with Cooper Kupp. But I don't know. I was kind of, as far as Myles Garrett, I mean, the more I think about Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons on the field at the same time, that would be the biggest mismatch to any offense. Like, you can't defend against that with Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. I just don't know how you would stop that. And I was kind of messing around a little bit on the PFF mock draft scenarios where you can kind of trade and kind of see. And of course, it's not realistic, right? It's just a program that you get to fuck around with a little bit. But I think I would give up a first round this year. Like, I would give up the 12th pick and maybe our 3rd round pick, and then maybe do like a pick swap with the seconds with Cleveland and ours. So we would move up in the 2nd round, like higher into like I think they pick at 33. So we'd move up to the front of the 2nd round. We'd lose our 3rd round pick and we'd lose our 1st round pick, but you get Myles Garrett. And I just don't see how teams would defend against that. Is it going to happen? I think the guy's probably going to generate multiple 1st round picks from teams. And I'm just worried that the Eagles are going to somehow snag him. So I would love to, but I just don't know if it's going to happen.
I think if anything, they would probably, like, what about the Commanders? Like, you could see Dan Quinn making some moves to get Garrett and Cooper Kupp over to the Commanders. Imagine that. Both of them, I believe they have the cap space. I think they have like $90 million in cap space coming into this next season.
Well, and it doesn't even have the Cowboys or the Eagles on that board. But if out of the two guys, like, if I had to trade for one and give up some picks, Myles Garrett is still going to be in his prime and a complete world record for the next 3 to 4 years, where Cooper Kupp is kind of on the downtrend, right? So again, if we could get Cooper Kupp for, let's say, would you guys throw a 3rd round pick at him for Cooper Kupp? I don't know if I would.
I wouldn't. My cutoff was 5th. And 5th round this year, and then if they wanted a 6th or 7th from 2026, okay. I do think that he brings enough to the table that there's our replacement for Brandon Cooks. I still want to go out and draft a wide receiver, though. So if that if they were like, okay, we've settled our wide receiver room now by hiring Kupp, then I would not be into that.
Yeah, then that's kind of, I feel like I would be more excited getting a wide receiver at 12 or even at our 40th pick than getting Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Not only is the NFL draft this year loaded with running backs, it's loaded with wide receivers, and I'd rather get a guy that's trending up, who's going to be a lot cheaper, who's not going to cost us a 3rd round pick, Granted, if we still had that 4th round pick that we traded for fucking Mingo last season, I would have been fine with the 4th round, right? But
exactly.
I think I'd rather go and draft a younger wide receiver than trade for Cooper Kupp, where with Myles Garrett, I would be willing to give up a 1st round. I don't know if I'd be willing to give up multiple 1st rounds. And the only reason I wouldn't be willing to give up multiple 1st rounds, because I don't think the Cowboys are a Myles Garrett away from being Super Bowl contenders. If this was 2023, when the Cowboys were, a Myles Garrett away from being a Super Bowl contender, then yeah, fucking sell the farm. Oh shit, we lose our Mozzie Smith and our Tyler Guyton picks. Could you imagine we could have traded the Mozzie Smith pick and the Tyler Guyton pick for Myles Garrett at that time of year, or at that point? Like, sign me the fuck up. But I don't think the team is there.
You actually just brought up an interesting point where you just don't know, because had we have said that before we drafted those two, we'd be like, I don't know if I'm willing to give up 2 1st rounds for that. Like, what if our 2 1st rounds, our 1st round this year and the 1st round next year are a bust? Then the Myles Garrett 2 1st round pick would be great. We just don't know, right? You would never really want to give up a 1st round.
No, you're right. But the way to look at it, I think.
Sorry to cap it. When are the Cowboys? Are we 1 player away from making the Super Bowl by putting Garrett on there? That's where it's like, okay, yeah. So that's where
I think we need. I think we need 3 serviceable players more than 1 really good player. But the thought of it is really cool, and I would, if they did it, like if the Cowboys tomorrow traded 2 1st rounds for Myles Garrett, yeah, I'd still be pretty jacked up about it. I wouldn't be upset. I honestly wouldn't be upset.
And the last thing just for Myles Garrett and Kupp, just on the trade value too.
That Amish beard motherfucker.
The beautiful thing about
sorry, not that I have anything against Amish beards. It just had to
Adam sounded.
You said it was beautiful.
You sounded mad.
Sorry, I should say that Jake Paul looking motherfucker.
You invoked your Quentin Tarantino years.
Yeah.
Totally. With both these players, you know what you're getting, and so you just weigh that against the high and low of what you think you will get with the draft pick. Obviously, I would say up to even a 4th round draft pick, you could potentially say, well, if we did our due diligence and we trust our board and we trust our guy, like there's a gem who has the capability of reaching Myles Garrett. Maybe not consistently, but he can kiss his feet. Okay, then I hang on to my 4th if I think that's going to happen, because the probability that I'll get that guy, and if I trust my development team, we're going to get the guy. We're going to get him there. But if you don't see those players, like, for example, if Cowboys needed a quarterback, right, and they have this 12th pick, then maybe it's like, well, we're not going to get the guy we want this year, even if we were in the top 5 right now. So we're going to Band-Aid that and trade our 1st pick for Myles Garrett, because the value that you're going to get from him I'm just saying there's ways that you can wash it to make it make sense, but it really depends on that high and low. And do you think you're going to get him closer to the high, that draft pick closer to the high than the low? Well, if you do, draft picks are too valuable. But generally, if you know what you got to deal with that ceiling potential too, or that floor potential too, where like this guy's he was a great athlete. He just can't keep up to NFL speed. And that's always a risk as well.
Well, the good thing about it is we're not going to have to worry about either, because the Cowboys aren't going to do shit. Both guys are always linked to work. Like, every guy that's wants to trade's always going to be linked to the Dallas Cowboys, and it just never ends up happening. So it's fun to think about, especially at this time of the year, but he's going to go. Let's just hope, as far as Garrett, let's just hope he doesn't go to an NFC East team.
Let me get a couple of comments in here on this topic. And just so everyone knows, we do realize Anth is frozen for some reason, but that's okay. You can still hear his beautiful voice.
He's practicing his miming.
Yeah, I'm a ventriloquist in training.
It's the last scene in this hotel room. Anthony Bessie, the freeze frame of like this podcast host, Anthony Bessie. Conversations, R2J2 says, the question is, can the Cowboys afford adding 20 million or 50 million cap, and who are they cutting or not re-signing?
Yeah, they could. They definitely could. They have CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott that they could do a bunch of restructuring with to get a bunch of cap space.
Okay,
and R2J2, I don't know the specifics of it, but that included what Anth mentioned. The Cowboys could, if they did all of the moves, free up to close to or more than $100 million and have that available for their cap space. Sorry, they would have up to $100 million for their cap space if they made all these moves. So it could be done. It's just a matter of, do they go aggressive? I think Anth made a good point of, if you feel like you are one Myles Garrett away, then it is worth it. And I do agree we're not at that point. So if it happens that he came to us for next year's first round pick and Schoonmaker or something, okay, like no brainer. I'm doing that, right?
We got the Luka deal, but with
Yeah,
Myles Garrett.
R2 J2 also says, I'm not sure that Garrett is a player you think he is. You are chasing the Eagles, and he only disrupted one drive. So he's just saying that Garrett's not the same type of player. But again, when you look at, we've already kind of addressed that when we talked about having Garrett and Micah Parsons. Like you have to game plan. How do you game plan for both of them? Because most teams are game planning for one of them.
It's impossible. There's never been, at least that since I can remember, two. Like let's be honest here. Him, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and TJ Watt, those three guys are the best of the best of the best. And if you had two of those on your defensive line, what the hell would you do as an opposing offense?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Run.
Danks 9000 says if the boys get Gary, he'll get frustrated with the team and leave.
It's also, sorry, just also thinking that's another point is like, bring him in. I would never complain. I'm never going to complain if Myles Garrett ends up on the Dallas Cowboys. I might complain with how much they have to give away, but at the end of the day, if it gets done, I'll be happy enough. But we're coming into a place where there's just a lot of question marks for offense and defense right now, and I would say that could be potentially helpful for sure. But as a new coach coming in, I'm just like, I want my picks. And I want to be able to get guys on the team that I believe in. And Garrett might be that guy who I'm like, I'm willing to give up this much. But that's another point is just the newness of this coaching staff. I wonder if that comes into play as well.
Yep. Ant's back anyway.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I don't know. It disabled. I started going into the settings, and for some reason, it disabled my FaceTime. So I don't know. But I'm back, baby. I'm moving. Look at this.
Look at that.
You guys never
He's
seen me
moving.
do this.
He's
Hot
moving.
G, you think am I sober now?
Who's sober? Not that guy.
No. Anth had to freeze the screen so he could take those pants off and just get comfortable.
I had to pause the screen so I could just dummy a pint of vodka.
Yeah.
And then Timothy Ball, just because we're on the
Yep.
trade talks, he also said earlier on, Minnesota has the best cap room to make it long term and retire as a Viking. He's saying if he doesn't go to Dallas, he thinks Garrett should go to Minnesota. Minnesota.
What do you guys think? And I don't know what's on the docket, but another interesting trade partner or trade could be for Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from the Jets. There's been some talk about him wanting to get out of New York. That's a wide receiver that I can see trading for.
That's a better wide receiver to grab than Jonathan fucking Mingo. Not that I actually
definitely.
Not that I'm excited to see what Mingo can do this year.
Yeah.
I am
with
too.
that.
But it was just the trade of it.
Yeah.
Like
Again, that fourth. Think of all those players that are available in the fourth right now.
Yeah. Well, it made no sense to do. We were out of contention at that time, essentially. It made no sense to trade. I would have rather them just hung on to the 4th round pick to draft somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see how it pans out. Maybe it ends up working out, but these 4th round picks have not seemed to be very forgiving for the Dallas Cowboys as of late.
Well, we threw out a poll. A poll. Thank you, Adam. Which move would you like to make? And most people wanted to go get Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, this is Cowboys Nation. This isn't us, right? This isn't a Cowboys fan saying this is Cowboys Nation.
This is Cowboys Nation. Yeah. This is Cowboys. This is the people. We put this out to the people.
Yeah.
150 votes. I think that's good enough to say that this covers everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good. That's over 100%.
Definitely, this is definitely good enough. 150 people will be out. Yeah.
Well, listen, at 150 people, you're gonna get a pretty solid. That is actually a decent amount of people.
It's not a bad amount of people, and when you think about it, when they do political polling, it's usually anywhere between 500 to 1,000 people. So we're pretty close.
Yeah, we're not off. We're just a little bit.
And listen, if you got a fucking problem with it, actually partake in the poll next time. Okay?
Well, the funny thing is, so we had.
Did either of you guys vote?
No, I didn't.
I did. I voted for us just because I wanted to see.
Okay.
But
I did. I should have voted. Is it still live?
It is.
Oh, we're.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Get in there, and I'll
You
tell me when, and I'll.
AJ, I'm gonna go live vote this right now.
So we put out which move should the Cowboys make? Trade a first round. It could be from 2026 or 2025, and a third round of 2025 for Myles Garrett. That got 23%. Draft 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds got 14%. That's the one I voted for, by the way. Go get Kupp. Trade 2024 or 2025 fifth round pick. That got 38%. Makes the most sense, least amount of capital. And then, no. I'll tell you what they need to do in comments. And unfortunately, most people didn't really put. Well, we'll read some of the comments. They're kind of funny, but there wasn't really any great.
I just voted.
I just voted too.
Okay, let's see what we're at now. Alex wears dirty underwear. Okay, thank you, Anth. Who'd you guys vote for?
I said.
We got another.
I'll tell you what they should do in the comments.
Okay, well,
So
there
what
was
did you
a
write?
third. There was another person who just voted as well.
I
No,
didn't.
there was 3 people who voted.
Oh, so
And
probably
then
someone from chat.
I told you what they should do in the comments.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay.
I said draft 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds.
Okay, that's what I said too. I think that would be electric.
Yeah.
2 running backs and a wide receiver, I would just lose my shit. But I know it's not going to happen. But here's the comments. Slip something in Jara's drink from Matt Berg, 7720. Giante this year, then Arch Manning. I mean, I'd like that. That'd be awesome.
That's like, sounds.
I want
like
Giante, draft Giante first round, and next draft a D tackle, and then in third draft a wide receiver. That's from Danelle Graves 2397. Send Jerry to the Titans for that first overall pick. I love that. Marcus Bell Dixon 4733. Sell the team, not going to happen. Get a generational pass rush. I mean, yes.
Hey, that's what you're. So he
we
voted.
got one. Let's get 2. Oh, Anth, I don't have your comment here.
Maybe you had to refresh. I don't know.
Baldo Cat says, I will refresh in a sec. Baldo Cat says nothing. None of these answers are good without a reply.
That's a
Phoenix. At least give us. It does say that.
Yeah, if you're gonna bash our suggestions,
there's the answer right there.
Something.
Well, they got to do something.
Well,
That's a soundbite.
you got to do something.
I know. I don't want to play it because you can't hear it. So,
But hey,
Okay.
they
they got to do something.
I like putting out these just to we'll be chatting usually all day from probably 6 a.m. when either Adam or Anth wakes up until 1 a.m. when I go to bed. And
6 a.m. I fucking wish, bro.
I know, well, you're up early. Usually I'll wake up before my alarm and check and then see that Ant's probably sent a message already.
And Ad and I too. Ad and I sometimes will be at 3 a.m. messages.
Yeah.
We'll check the DMs, or like if one of our videos is popping off, I'll usually slide into the comments and respond to some comments for about 15 or 20 minutes and then go back to sleep.
But yeah, we're having these conversations and just like to share them with you guys and see what y'all have to say. So this was it was nice to see. I think like generally we're just I don't know. Are you feeling a little bit kind of excited? It's not the season we wanted, but maybe it's the season that we needed.
I talking about excited. So I
12th overall pick.
12th overall
I'm
pick.
excited about that. I am.
As I was my Uber driver this morning on the way to the airport, it was wearing a Raiders
Oh
hat.
yeah, shit! You just got back.
Yeah, just had to throw that down there.
Vegas.
I forgot that you just got back from Vegas. You guys bring some money back. Sorry for cutting you off, but I
You know
forgot
what?
that you just got back from
Well-
because we didn't do our usual. Hey, how's it going, guys?
No.
Lynn's was up about $300, and then
Nice.
I
And you?
lost. Well, I went up and then I played it until I lost it all. But we set aside. Here's
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
willing to lose if we want. So you kind of just
That's the
Play with-
point.
As soon as you do that, you're walking away with zero, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's not you're not there to gamble. You're there for entertainment at that point.
I
and
was
I'm all
watching.
for it.
I was watching blackjack stuff, and then I was like, I'm not gonna play that. And then I was looking at roulette, and I was getting into like all these guys talking about like the system. So I kept on saying to Lynn's like, "Hey, I'm gonna try the system, and I'm gonna try my system night because there's a couple ways to do it." So I didn't play roulette, but I have like a couple of different systems that I will play next time.
So you lost your money playing a game that you didn't study for. I love
Yes.
it. That's
Yeah. So we just
bold strategy, Cotton.
we just fucking played slots. It was good.
Nice.
Did you see this guy?
Yeah, I watched a bunch of stuff on him.
Mickey Mace.
Mickey Mace. Yeah, I went
I
down.
fucking hate that guy.
I went
Me
down.
too.
I went down the rabbit hole of that schmooze as well.
I cannot.
But you know
stand
what?
that guy.
I don't like him. I think he's probably a bullshitter.
He's a grifter.
He's a grifter, but he does have knowledge. That's all I'll say, or at least speaks very knowledgeable as if he does.
Fresno
but he's a
State says
goofball.
going to be in Vegas at the end of the month. Any good suggestions to eat? So the place
In and out.
Yeah, no, I know. You'll see him everywhere. It's like $2 for a fucking tall boy and a hot dog.
That's Ant's
I'll
place.
tell you. I'll
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you. It's called Stage Door Casino. $3.
I
You get
tried-
a hot dog and a Michelob Ultra or a Budweiser and a great hot dog.
I was trying
There
to.
you go. Best deal in Vegas.
I was trying to get Linz to go there. She would not. But we
You
went
didn't go to Stage Door Casino.
we
I'm
didn't.
bummed out.
I went to
I'm bummed out.
If you like ramen, Momofuku in Cosmopolitan's really good.
You went to
How much is that? How much is Momofuku meal?
Fucking 100 times what your $3 butt and a dog is.
I
30
rolled
bucks.
in with 5 of my buddies down there. I rolled in with 5 of my friends when we were down there for an NFL fantasy football draft, and I threw down $20 and got us all dogs and beers.
You look like a
So-
fucking
and you
big
were,
roller.
and everyone loved it.
And I was just, and everyone loved it. And then you burp it up for the next
Oh yeah, no.
8 hours, and then once you stop burping it up, you know it's time to go back. and get another
Yes.
$3.
I will say this though, they
Ooh, I'm not tasting it anymore,
they
guys.
do have a Whataburger there. So when we go to Vegas Raiders versus Cowboys, maybe we do the
Mukbang.
Whataburger mukbang there.
Mukbang.
Mukbang, Whataburger, mukbang, Whataburger, mukbang.
you went into the Sphere.
Yeah, the Sphere. I went and did the Sphere.
Did they? Obviously, they didn't do a sporting event or anything.
No,
eh?
they have like
Do
a
they do that there
yeah. Well,
for every?
UFC was the one that did the sporting event. which I
No,
don't
sorry,
think-
not live there, but this where they put you like you're in the crowd.
No, that's
Okay.
You'll see mini spheres all over the place. Boots, who's in the chat, went to one.
Yes,
it's the
that's what it was.
COSM, COSM.
Yep.
COSM. They do like the half dome where you can sit there and you can watch the games. Which
I'd like us to see
would
if
be-
we could try to find one of those. That would be fun to do.
it would like I would definitely go see a game there because like the fidelity on the screen's insane. The audio was good, and we actually watched a show that was filmed for the Sphere, which was pretty solid. Like afterwards, you're kind of like, holy shit! Like when I say
Nosferatu.
yeah, totally Nosferatu, but it is immersive, and I hate using that word. Oh, you're so immersed in it, and it's like
That's the
you-
point of it, though, right?
You do
Like,
the 3D glasses and stuff, and it's like, oh, whatever. I don't really feel as much. This was the first time I actually felt like immersed into it. And then when they went back down to like regular screen, you're like, you felt like you were missing something. So it was really cool.
so it has 40 effects, but yours broke.
Yeah.
But they just brought out a guy and he had like a fan and water and like
Yeah.
sand,
Well,
blowing sand in your face.
the chairs rumble, and you got the scent, and there's wind and stuff
Yeah,
in there too.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
have a couple of those types of scents. But there was one part where it was like tipping down a cliff, and it actually like
makes
it,
your body-
I
yeah.
almost like you're-
Butthole puckered.
Yeah, you're holding onto your chair a little bit because you're like, holy shit, this is gonna be intense. But
Because your brain's like, this is real.
yeah, the Sphere was definitely a solid
So
thing.
you had a good time in Vegas.
Had a
That's
good time.
good.
We went to. I told Alex we went to the world's largest dispensary, Planet 13. It was pretty cool.
Well, I mean,
AJ would have smoked himself silly.
Yeah.
all of these things are going to happen next year. I'm excited for that trip.
Yeah, Can fans going to Vegas. It'll actually be Can fans' second Vegas trip, but only the second Vegas trip for 2 of the 3 of us.
Well, you know, like how
stable.
stables start, and then like DX, for example, the rendition of DX that everyone remembers is not how it originally started.
AJ, I hate to say it, you're 6-pack.
I am. I know I am, and I'm
I know
fine with
he's
it.
X-Pac in the.
I'm X-Pac.
When you talk
Sorry,
about
X
DX.
X-Pac.
X-Pac.
I said 6-pack because I was
Six-pack.
thinking of the 1, 2, 3 kid. I was like, was his name
Yeah.
6-pack?
Yeah,
Shawn
yeah.
Michaels, X-Pac, and then your.
I don't think I'm Hunter Hearst. I think I'm China.
Fuck.
Actually,
so
or-
me and you are dating.
R.I.P.
But
R.I.P.
I always play the Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn.
I think
for-
we're Road Dogg, Jesse James, Badass Billy Gum. Anthony's obviously fucking Triple H.
Yeah, that's what I said. Answer was Triple
Yeah,
H.
I'd have to be Triple
But
H.
if you're
I gotta
Xbox,
get on- I
I'm
gotta
Shawn
get on
Michaels
some
and
gear.
he's Triple H.
I gotta get on some gear.
Guys, before we move on to more news, I love us having a little Gabby Gab talk. What's up?
Okay, well, but just before, because the whole thing, I was not trying to just slide in that I went to Vegas. I was saying this. I got excited this morning because my Uber driver he was wearing all Raider stuff, and I'm like, oh, you're a Raiders fan? He's like, oh, diehard. So we were chatting. This is at 5:30 in the morning, 5:30 a.m. as we're headed to the airport. He got into talking about football with me that he forgot to start the ride. So when we're at the airport, he's like, "Oh shit, I didn't even start the Uber ride. Where's your?" He's like, "Where's your gate?" kind of thing. But talking through the draft and hearing what what other teams need and whatnot, he asked me what I thought about Brian Schottenheimer, and actually felt good talking about all the positives that I see happening in terms of like the coaching staff that he's been picking up. There seemed to be that the focus is going to be going towards a run game. So I was just going to say that this was like the first time out in the wild outside of our show where I was talking to someone else that I almost was like going to start to really defend Brian Schottenheimer. I didn't get down to that, had to do that point. It was like, hey, I didn't know much. I didn't think he was on anybody's radar. I said, that's true. But talking about the things that we've been talking about definitely felt right.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing with CanFan. Okay, we had our 24-hour bitch fest, and mainly me when Schottenheimer was hired. We're past that. He's a cowboy, and we're the ultimate optimists. And people might call us stupid or just not jaded enough, but he's our coach, and we're gonna try to look for the positives before we complain about the negatives.
And opening the Cowboys, not home opener, the week 1 we'll all be wearing visors in support of Shotty.
We got to.
We'll order some cowboy visors.
I absolutely am in. And look, the cards have been dealt to us, and we could play the game of what if all day and really go down a wild rabbit hole all the way back to, well, what if Jerry didn't buy the Dallas Cowboys and this, and I know I'm being a little bit antagonistic. Crack me if you got him. But my point just being like once something's happened, it's been essentially set in stone. For as much as we can, obviously Shotty could just up and leave the country, and then we'd be without a head coach. I just want to start saying, okay, this is what I'm given. What can we make of it? Because we can complain, we can bitch, we can say, oh, they should have gone after this guy. They didn't go after Ben Johnson. They had a chance to get Ben Johnson. All that's moot now. Both of those guys are coaches Ben Johnson's a coach for the Bears. We got Schottenheimer. So that's what we got to look forward to and put our attention on. And like I said, my biggest worry with Cowboys Nation is people are going to start shitting and hating on this guy. And yes, I expect him to be able to fight through that, especially as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. But if that's how you start, you never get to love this city as a head coach. I know he's been in the organization for years. And I want him to love the Cowboys and want to fight for them and give his best effort. Right? I'm not saying that he would ever compromise that, but we all know that if you go into a work environment and people are saying you suck, like even if you're trying to put your best foot forward, you just can't. You're not.
You don't give your best production.
You just can't. You can't do it because there's too many things against you. So let's just.
It's a negative environment.
It's a negative environment. Now, I want to be harsh on him if there's things that happen that are like, hey, you're literally just repeating what we've seen the last X amount of years with McCarthy, Big Mike. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think I
want to see come April what the fuck he does in the draft.
Yeah.
And all this talk about wanting to run the ball and lean towards the run. Well, we're going to know pretty quickly if that's legit because you have free agency and the draft coming up. And those are the ways to address a complete change in offensive mind, right? Well, if they go out and draft a running back in the top 3 rounds, then yeah, I'm going to be on board with that because it's something that Cowboys have not done since they drafted Ezekiel Elliott. And they got Tony Pollard. Actually, Pollard might have been, I want to say Pollard was a 4th round pick, but they haven't drafted a running back in the, I'm going to stick by that, in the top 3 rounds since Ezekiel Elliott.
Alex is going to fact check that. And I think like in terms of
4th round, yes, 2019.
But if you look at like what,
2016 was Zeke in 2016.
Zeke.
Yep.
So like that worked out really well for them.
And it worked out perfect, man. Zeke with Pollard, they had a couple very nice years, man.
That's
And then
kind of lining up. Yeah.
Since then, it's been Deuce Vaughn.
Well, what we're seeing is, I'm not comparing Dowdle to Zeke, but Dowdle just came off a 1,000-yard season. Yes, of course, he got that extra game, but he did do it in 16 games, if I remember correctly.
He did. He did.
This is the time you draft that guy, and now we've got kind of that good tandem. We know what we've got with Dowdle. I really do hope they bring Dowdle back, just because I don't like the question mark of bringing in a sideways move.
Yeah.
You're like, if you're not going to pick up Dowdle and then they're going to move sideways to another guy in the NFL, say, be it Gus Edwards or whoever is in that type of caliber. Okay, I just don't understand it. Like, keep the dude who
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, keep the dude who's been here.
Unless it ends up being Dowdle just gets an offer from a team that the Cowboys
$8 million, $9 million, and it's like,
and I could see something.
Well,
like that
there are
happening,
teams that are gonna, like, if we see Saquon go off in the Super Bowl and God forbid the Eagles win it, then
shut your fucking mouth.
It just proves to you that having a solid run game is going to be intact. And I'm not saying that it's a copycat league, but you're going to look at other teams need running backs. You need depth at that position, and Dowdle proved that he can handle a workload when given to him, and he wasn't given that workload for the first bit of the season, right? And possibly, like, I guess I was going to ask, with Zeke, who was the other running back on the team
when Zeke got drafted? Ooh, good question.
So the year before, it was Darren McFadden was there, and I don't think they retained him. They drafted Zeke the following year, and I want to say maybe Lance Dunbar is a name that's, no one else ran the ball. It was Zeke. Like, once Zeke was there, his next 3 years, Ezekiel Elliott was the third, like, every down back.
Yeah,
but I'd have to.
So 2015, the year before, and this is
is McFadden.
Okay, I do have Lance Dunbar on.
Yeah, Lance Dunbar was on the team. Darren McFadden ran for over 1,000 yards in 2015.
Do you remember Joseph Randall?
Yeah, Joseph Randall, the underwear thief.
He used to steal underwear.
Seriously, he got arrested for stealing underwear
from the Cowboys locker room,
from his teammates.
Dude, he's fucked, man. If you guys watch YouTube videos about him,
I'm gonna watch him after now.
Since his NFL career has finished, he's had some issues. But I'm trying now. When you say that, I'm trying to think who else was on. Jalen Smith's brother, Rod Smith.
Yes, Rod Smith.
Rod Smith was with Zeke, and he actually had some pretty nice runs.
He was from Ohio State as well.
So there was
undrafted guy.
Actually, it wasn't a bad room. You had in 2016. You had Rod Smith, Alfred Morris, Darren Matt.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Darren McFadden, Zeke Elliott as the rookie, and then Lance Dunbar.
Yeah, they brought Morris in, and he actually had a couple nice games. But Rod Smith was pretty nice, man. Jalen Smith's older brother. He had a couple pretty cool games and a couple nice big runs. And even before that, like, Joseph Randall had shown some flashes for the Cowboys, but his off the field shit was just you guys got a deep dive on that guy.
I'll just say, because I know you we'll bring this up, but in terms of what they're,
we're just having a gab, baby.
We're having a gab. In terms of what they're gearing up for, in terms of like getting the run game going, is what we all think. Who's the one player that the Cowboys do have in reach that would be over 60 to 70% of Cowboys Nation would be in favor of?
To draft?
Like
to
draft.
Deontay.
G&T.
Yeah, so
G&T, yeah.
If Jerry, like, they need to do something to get the fans back on Dallas's side, and I think that's the move. I think they're going to draft G&T.
I don't think he's making it to 12.
I don't think he's going to make it to 12. So
I think the Raiders are going to take him. I really.
Well,
do.
and this is what I was talking with the Raiders guy about. It's like, who are you guys going to go for?
We know you were in Vegas.
Oh my God, Adam!
He didn't bring
it.
But he didn't bring up Gianti. Like, it's odd.
Yeah, but you got to think there's surface level fans, right? Like, now that since we've been doing this, there's levels to fandom, right? Like, we deep dive the draft, right? And guys, I'm not trying to give us a pat on the back, but
jerk yourself.
We do.
Just jerk yourself.
Compared to, I'm JOing us. Compared to the average fan, we deep dive a lot. So an Uber driver in Vegas, he might not even know who G&T is. A lot of people in the States don't watch college football.
Well, and to flip on that, like, out of anybody in the draft that the casual fans are wanting, they probably have heard Ashton G&T's name more so than anybody outside of like Shedeur Sanders.
That dude probably has heard of him, and he just but doesn't know the name when you bring it up, right? And that's comma too. I think. Well, that was a good story.
Would you be mad though if we traded what would you be happy with GNT? And if we traded to go get him?
I like that.
I don't know if I like it. It depends what we'd lose if we lost a second round or a third round because I do think there's a lot of good and AJ, sorry for cutting you off there, but I think there's a lot of good running backs later on in the draft that I don't think you have to make the move. But he's a no-brainer if GNT is there at 12. He is the absolute pick. He's a top 5 player in the draft, and we might luck out that no other players want to draft a running back. But I don't know if you go and get him. I heard a little clip of people talking about like players in the draft, and if it gets to 12 and he's there and he's the best player available, why wouldn't you? What's the argument for not taking him?
I know
he's the best. He's the best player there. He's the best player at his position. He's a position of need for your team. He's and I know this word gets thrown around a lot, but generational type talent. He just checks every single box, and that's why I'm worried he's not going to be there. I'm expecting the Raiders to take him at 6.
Yeah, well, the only good news about Giante going before the 12th round pick means that we'll get a top 10 player because I don't think any quarterbacks in this draft are top 10, but I do believe that in those top 10 picks, both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to be taken from a team. So it gives the Cowboys the last of the true top 10 players. And realistically, that's who the Cowboys should go with. And then you adjust your draft accordingly. So after
we're BPA boys.
We're BPA. Like, Giante's not there. And if he is at 12, he is the BPA, unless somehow Abdul Carter falls that far as well.
Cough from me.
Who's that linebacker? Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker. There's a chance. And
let me ask you this:
if he's gone, if Giante's gone and Walker's there, I'm more than happy with taking Walker.
That's what I wanted to ask. Is you come down to it, and this might be too easy, so I might have to remove one name. But there's Carter, Giante, Jalen Walker, all sitting there at 12. Who are you going for?
Ooh.
You got to get rid of Carter. There's zero chance. There's zero chance. He might not.
He's
make
not
going to
make
it.
3. Okay. So
he's gone.
So then the answer there would be obviously Carter.
I think Carter
would be the answer because he has a chance to go 1.
Well, Carter's probably going to go ahead of someone like
he could go ahead of Shedeur.
Travis Hunter. He might go. I mean, I don't.
That's
you're right.
Is awesome.
You're right because who knows what's going to happen in the quarterback situation, but in terms of like Travis Hunter, like Abdul Carter, there's a big chance that he could go ahead of.
Titans need to ask themselves with their number 1 pick, do either of these quarterbacks warrant 5 years of investing and building a team around them? My answer is no. I don't see it with either of those guys. I'd be happy with Shedeur or Cam Ward, in late 20s if they happen to be there, and I was like a 26, 27, be like, sure, I'll fucking. But then even then, I might have a quarterback and not want to spend the capital. Like, I think these, and hopefully they come to their senses, man, because the NFL puts so much into young quarterbacks, not developing them, where it's like maybe the best opportunity. Sure, you still spend your first overall pick on them with the knowledge that you're on the bench for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, the only
and we will probably never going to be able to see that again.
I do think
like from a first round pick. Sorry, maybe it'll happen with a guy you draft in the 4th or 5th, and he survives on the bench. But
I do think that out of all, I do think, and you can clip me this. Well, let's timestamp it, bring it back. I do think that based on primetime being Shedeur's father, I do think mentally he's been preparing Shedeur for the NFL for the last 10 years, call it. So, and it's a big thing. Like when you get some of these younger guys who go into it, you're not always going to get a CJ Stroud or a Jaden Daniels who can come in and actually handle the workload.
Mentality is a big part of it.
Mentality is a massive thing. So I do think that he does have that type of edge. I think we're probably going to hear a lot of reports coming out of the combine and interviews that everybody liked hearing Shedeur. everyone likes to think that Cam Ward's the better quarterback and he's going to go ahead of Shedeur. I just think that there's too many positives in Shedeur's favor to actually be placed on an NFL team and have success. Now, granted, he goes to a team, let's say like the Titans or what Bryce Young did with like
the Giants or the Cleveland Browns. Like,
yeah, any of those teams, like having a bad offensive line and having a losing culture is going to be completely different. Is going to be completely different from him. You don't
Not
have
being around your
prime
dad.
time shielding you with all these things, right? Like
this ain't the year to want a quarterback. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
I agree. This
Like
is,
last year was the quarterback year. Last year was a juicy quarterback year. And if I'm the Titans or I'm the Giants or I'm the Cleveland Browns, you know what? I'm taking the best player, which is going to be Abdul Carter.
Yep.
I honestly, I think he has a chance to go 1. I'm taking Abdul Carter. And if we end up sucking this year, we're going to get a top 5 pick next year. And there's going to be better quarterbacks to maybe try to trade up for.
You have to go
We
for
have Arch Manning. You have Arch Manning coming in next
But you
year.
have to go for Abdul Carter if you're the Browns because you're about to lose Myles Garrett.
if you do.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want. But here's the other thing too. For my money, I wouldn't be. I like where we're picking Clinton Ewers, and that might change. We're picking him generally on our PFF mock drafts,
4th or 5th
that we've been sharing. 4th or 5th. Usually it's the 5th round. I think he'd probably be more close to a 4th, high 4th round. Just
like late 3rd, high
late
4th,
3rd,
yeah,
high
I
4th.
agree.
But then that would work out perfect because I don't see, and I could be wrong, naturally, but this is the most I've ever known about college football, so it's my best knowledge that I've ever had in my life. I don't see a major difference between what Ewers can do compared to what Shedeur or Ward can do. Now, there probably are some things, but I think from what I've seen online, like each quarterback has their positives, but they have like a list of negatives. They're all work in project quarterbacks.
Yep.
And so I'd like to take the guy who I don't have to really my first round pick, if I invest that into a quarterback and he fails in 4 years, I'm gone too, probably.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're married. You're married to that.
I go ahead, I get Abdullah Carter. Still I go 5-12, but Carter has 15 sacks and a bunch of pressures and looks fucking good.
You're a genius.
I'm keeping my job, yeah. And I don't
job and the Micah Parsons effect of Micah Parsons falling to the Cowboys at pick 12 and teams skipping over him and them being from Penn State, both wearing 11, both looking like basically carbon copies of each other. That's going to be on people's minds.
Oh yeah.
So there's zero chance in my mind that Abdul Carter falls out of the top 3 picks.
No, I don't.
And I guess we'll have to wait till draft night. And that's the best thing about the draft because crazy shit happens. And I'm glad that we've adopted this because it is a nice way to slog through the offseason.
Well, we are going to be talking real quick about someone who definitely deserves some flowers here. But first, just to kind of put a stamp on that talk there. Starting next Wednesday. Jeez. Swallowed one of Adam's pubic hairs. Yeah, swallowed a June bug.
Swallowed a June bug. That's what we call Ad's pubes.
Yeah.
June bugs.
June bug.
Because he's born in June.
Swallow one of my June bugs?
Yeah, that's what he calls his little acorn knob. Cracker.
His little cracker if you got his
My
little
little
acorn.
acorn knob with a bunch of June bugs around it.
That doesn't look healthy, Adam. Sorry. Next week, we are going to be starting our big board. And what we're going to be doing is kind of eliminating players who we feel, if they end up with the Cowboys, of course, we'd love to draft them, but they're going to be kind of put into a before Cowboys draft box. And then everyone after that will be free range. So we'll probably start with building our red zone, like players.
Yeah, like guys that aren't draftable. Like we're gonna have. I'd say there's probably 6 or 7 guys that aren't like the Cowboys aren't going to get.
Yeah, and the segment building our big board,
and then what we're gonna do is probably each week after that, bring one to 3 dudes in. Also, chat. We're gonna want you guys to participate in this as well, and we're just gonna start building out our big board by round. So Our big board is going to be by the realistic opportunities. And obviously after those picks, sure, anyone could be realistically could drop or the Cowboys could pick early or move up and get them. But just trying to look around where the Cowboys are picking, maybe five slots before and 5 slots after, and using that range to just get a concise board. Now, we do know that the boards shift quite a bit from now until draft, so that's going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch as well. But anyways, that's the whole point. What we'll be doing, I think it's on Wednesdays, maybe, Anth? You laid out the schedule there.
I think mocking on Wednesday. I think mocking on Wednesdays. Mock
Mock
on
on
Wednesdays. Like, we're going to run through our mock drafts, version 1 to whatever it ends up being, 14 by the time comes draft. And then on the Sunday services after the Super Bowl, we'll start breaking down positional groups. Of free agents, and draft prospects. And I say break down more so just us getting crushes on guys, essentially, right?
Draft
Like,
bugs,
we're not going to dive into anything too crazy, but we're going to just learn about players leading up to the NFL draft, leading up to free agency, and try to just have a fun way of who we would like to bring on the team. Because again, I'll give us all SRDs a little bit. Our big boards from last year, guys that we wanted that were on the board still when the Cowboys were drafting that the Cowboys didn't draft, we selected a bunch of them. We selected Maurice Leafau in the 3rd round for the Dallas Cowboys. We selected Cooper Beebe for the Dallas Cowboys. There was a bunch of running backs that we selected that we'd have liked in the 4th round but couldn't have because of the Trey Lance trade. So it's a fun way to just kind of, there it is, CanFan big board. And that was just day 3.
That's just day 3. So we got Johnny Wilson, Brendan Rice, Jalen Wright, Bucky Irvin, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, Cedric Gray, and Jace McClellan.
But fucking Bucky Irvin was probably the steal of the draft.
Yeah.
So
so looking forward to that. But hey, guys, we haven't showed love. Maybe it's because we were sour, and this is the first time that the 3 of us have not won. But we need to give a big shout out to Levi here. Just launch the league with us. You know, part of the OG club. And
3rd year in the league, yep.
The Oak Cliff Cowboys are the winners of the 2024-2025 Cowboys fantasy football.
Is this the announcement that we're telling him he's not allowed in the league next year?
Yeah, and you've now been relegated. So, no, it was an awesome game. He beat the Bandwagon Boys going to their 3rd straight finals. We're 1-2 in the finals, so not very good. Anth 1-1. Or are you 1-2?
1-2.
1-2.
No, 1-1. 1-1.
Yeah, so Ant's like Michael Jordan, just 100% in the.
No, he's 1-1. He's lost. Oh,
you won 1-1, lost. Oh, you're right. 1-1, lost 1. We've won 1, lost 2. We beat you. We lost to you, and now we've also lost to the Oak Cliff Cowboys, aka Levi. So Levi, we are from Canada, and with all the tariffs and shit like that, there was a lot of. I know there's no tariffs now, but they were threatened. So we're
scared of the mail.
We exactly. We ordered your jersey.
Yep.
We got it sent here.
And we're just send it out. So.
And they're gonna send it out. So it's in transit. We appreciate you. I know you maybe are not listening to this, but just for the faith of CanFan and Maniacs out there, we are.
I'll clip this and send it to him.
Yeah. So we're gonna get that to you, and we appreciate your patience. And
he's getting
congrats, man.
Yeah, congrats.
Well, we got to say what we
he's getting CanFan swag. He's getting CanFan swag.
Well, a little backstory. The winner of the league, we said at the very start 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, sorry, that the winner of the CanFan League would get a jersey of their choice. Obviously, the last 2 seasons, I won and you guys won, so we didn't have to send a jersey. This year, Levi decided to pick a Dez Bryant throwback jersey, baby, and I'm all for that. That's a great selection, and we're gonna send him some CanFan swag.
What would your jersey have been?
If I was like right now,
yeah. If you were in Levi shoes,
I would. You know what I'd ask? I would text us or message us on social media and be like, "Can I just wait till after the 1st round of the draft to decide who I want as my jersey?"
We'd accept
because if it's GNT, I'd be like, "That's who I want."
That's why the Dez Bryant throwback's a safe one to get.
Yeah, it's a nice jersey. The throwback. I think my next jersey has to be one of the throwbacks, and not the Thanksgiving throwbacks. We're talking the ones with like the big. He's got the big stars on the shoulders, which they're pretty sick.
And I have always been hesitant because I know like not that we claim anything here, but I feel like you've claimed Dez as your 88, and I've really wanted a Des Bryant 88. I'm not attached.
We should all have Des Bryant jerseys, man.
I would love it. Because out of all of the 88s, I think he's my favorite. Just his attitude,
just his fire, man.
I like Michael Irvin. Don't get me wrong, but he's just a generation too
far away.
Too far from me. Whereas Des is my generation, even though I didn't watch football as much as I do now.
We didn't watch the Cowboys.
I think my top 3 Dallas Cowboys players, and again, because I didn't unfortunately get to enjoy the Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin Super Bowls. So I think my guys are like Tony Romo, Des Bryant, Sean Lee. Like those are my 3 dudes.
What about
and
Zeke?
My favorite players. Zeke's definitely up there too. Zeke was the only thing with Zeke is like he kind of fizzled out. Marion Barber, also one of my all-time favorites. But those 3, I think Tony Romo, Des Bryant, and Sean Lee, definitely up there for me as a Cowboys fan.
Well, congratulations,
Levi, you dirty son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
And you're going down next year.
You're going down next year.
Let a Can Fan crew member not win again.
Yeah.
No, but we'll be entering our 4th season, and so the only thing I have to do is shout out to Barry Grant Jr. We love you, Barry Grant Jr. And whether or not this message gets to your ears, I need to see you starting your goddamn team. Okay.
Well, hey, he's not even a Cowboys fan anymore.
I think I was pretty bad for that a couple of weeks.
Hey, missing a week or 2, I'm not gonna get on your case. It's a free league, right? All I'm saying is if it keeps up, we're gonna start charging money to make sure that you fucking because the worst thing and now I'm not ragging on you nor Barry Grant Jr.
I feel like I'm getting in trouble.
Well,
I did a nervous drink.
Hey, I didn't set.
It's getting hot in here.
I didn't set the lineup once this season.
Yeah, but I know.
AJ, yell at Ad a little bit.
No,
but
this is the team. This is the championship team. He's
Marty Jannetty.
Hey, owner, manager.
Yeah,
owner, manager.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm just saying, it's fun. Can't wait to do it again next year. And I'm just playing Barry Grant. You're always welcome in the league. And I'm never going to charge. I'm never going to charge you anything but your love.
You wanted to talk Senior Bowl?
Yeah, Senior Bowl. Shoot, I'm just trying to find those articles because, I guess the real big news here is thank you, Ad, telling me to scroll down. The real big news is, and I didn't really hear too much about it. I don't know if it's just my algo. I heard some bits and pieces, but I was figuring Senior Bowl, I thought I was going to see a lot more of what was happening. And I saw some clips, but there were is it just not as big as I think it is maybe?
Well, you got to think in college football, there's a lot of guys that are going to be top picks that aren't seniors, right? So you don't get a lot of the main guys that are only juniors that are declared for the NFL that aren't playing in the game, right? So guys that you would have heard or that we would know because of our college football 25 games and then us streaming the college football playoffs. Like Riley Leonard played in it, had a decent game. Jack Kaiser from Notre Dame also had a pretty good
That's your boy.
Senior Bowl. But there's a lot of guys in the Senior Bowl that aren't necessarily top prospects. So it's not like you don't have the Jalen Walkers, you don't have the Ashton Jantes, you don't have the Shadur Sanders, any the big profile names, the Abdul Carters. None of those guys are playing in the game, right? So that's why you don't necessarily hear as much about it.
Well, we have our boy Kyle Humans, a.k.a. Kyle U-Man.
Hey, is this on NFL.com?
This is on DallasCowboys.com.
Okay, I was going to say he made it to NFL.com. Yeah, Humans is a...
Fucking Humans.
It's so funny because, when I first started getting all these guys' names, the Humans, the Neckbeards,
Eat Me Out.
Eat Me Out. All of, those guys are to me, I didn't realize that they had shows and everything like that. I thought they were just content, right?
Right.
I was thinking old 1990s.
Right. You thought they were just beat writers.
Beat writers, yeah.
Bloggers. Yeah,
but then all of a sudden you look at
this. Good word.
Well, now I start to see all of the videos that they put out as well. And so, obviously I've been watching those, so I'm seeing them more and more. And anyway,
Humans really good for the the training camp coverage.
Well, I
Also
felt like
very good training camp coverage.
I felt like a little kind of fangirl because I'm like, oh my god, Nick's on!
Oh my goodness, I need him.
Yeah, eat me out's on. Wow. But anyways, these are the high five rising stocks for Senior Bowl.
I like this too because he's going to
Shrine Bowl.
write it with like a Cowboys
Exactly.
kind of bias, which is nice.
Yeah, and this is what we really care about. It's super easy to see the guys who are on everyone's list, right? And those top players. And it's almost like, okay, once I've read 2 or 3 articles about these guys, I'm not really getting anything new unless there's new information that comes out. Do they have an injury? Some sort of legal issue, whatever it might be. There's really not much more. We've seen what they can do on the field. Now it's about getting to the draft. But these guys, where we don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to, so this is where this type of article here from Kyle Humans is very helpful.
So he's talking about the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl, so not just relegated to just the seniors.
So what's the Shrine Bowl?
I'm going to defer to Anth or someone in chat to tell us what the Shrine Bowl is.
I'm having connectivity issues.
I know who can help us, little girl.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Boots
Let's take a little.
Well, while we're looking at that, R2J2 says Senior Bowl compete with Shriner Bowl, and O-line committee, who is on YouTube, said it's slim pickings pass. Shadur, you normally have to be a real draft geek to watch them, to be honest.
Sorry,
which is, hey, we're in draft geek mode. That's why we're talking Shriner and the Senior Bowl.
Talking shop.
The Shrine Bowl is it's the East-West Shrine Bowl. I guess it's a post-season college football all-star game. So probably not all the players. The guys who are
seniors.
It's just not limited to seniors, exactly. So that's nice. You know how we do. We don't really read any of this kind of junk text. That's just for SEO purposes.
Give us the name.
Hey, sorry, fucking yeomans. We're not reading your fucking words.
Ad, do you want to start off?
Okay, so Jack Beach or Jack Betch.
Or Beck.
It's Beck.
Jack Beck. Wide receiver.
I like Beach.
I don't know why I said Beach.
Betch?
I mean, it might be Betch.
Yeah, you were pretty confident on the Beck.
I was.
So
It
one of
could
the
be Betch.
one of the great stories of this week, Betch stood out as soon as he took the field for national team practice on Tuesday, 1 month after his brother passed away in a deadly New Orleans attack. He honored him by winning the overall MVP award and catching a game-winning touchdown. It wasn't just the story that stood out; his play spoke wonders too. His 6 catches for 68 yards in the game included a downfield strike from quarterback Jackson Dart, who's I want us to take a look at.
Okay,
he's
Great name.
I
very good for a quarterback.
Yeah, I would
That
probably
might be the great. That sounds like a D&D character.
Jackson Dart, and it's even spelled like a D&D name. I think he would be a better pick than Quinn Ewers for us. Jackson Dart for 39 yards. His performance capped a dominant week of practice where he was named the top wide receiver on the national roster by his. I don't know what the last one said, but he's from.
Oh, sorry.
TCU.
I'm trying
And
to.
he's a local guy.
By his peers.
But national roster. by
There's
his
a
peers.
lot. There's a lot to address there. Not only the D&D like character name for the quarterback, but his brother passed away in that crazy
New Orleans attack.
That truck attack that happened prior to the college football playoff game. There's a lot going on there. And then he caught the game-winning touchdown. A lot going on there.
No, and fuck, man. I mean, my heart goes out to that. I can only imagine that would be something that would probably make me extremely rageful for the rest of my life. So, but
definitely,
Jack Beck here, 6'2", 215. I like his size. I like his size. I'm not loving. You know me. I'm a bit of a stickler for the shirts. I'm not loving this.
He looks like Ad did when he worked at Blockbuster.
It kind of reminds me of like. Iron your shirt if you're doing your team photo. That's all I'm saying. And do up the top button at least.
I wasn't going to go at the guy because the story was good, but I mean.
I'm just playing it fair.
Give me a West Coast bruh. But his hometown was Lafayette, so
but
he's not a West Coast bruh.
He's on the he's on the opposite side. He's from Lafayette, Louisiana.
And he's the 10th ranked wide receiver on the Draft Buzz board. And I like his size, man. That's all I got to say. You know?
Yep. I agree. 6'2", 215. I mean, he did it. Again, the Senior Bowl competition is going to be good. So to have a good game there, to show it at practice and then catch the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
I mean, he showed up. So
So I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to do this. Don't worry, I will figure that
Hey,
out.
you did a decent job though.
I'm gonna, yeah. Well, you know what? It's for you guys know how we roll. This is not a fucking CNN, Fox News show, okay, baby?
We do it live.
This ain't ESPN.
We do
all right.
it live. We do it live.
Okay, who wants to take a stab at this name?
Olu Wafami Oladejo or Dejo, depending if they. I'm guessing the J's probably pronounce Oladejo. Wafemi Oladejo.
You had it. You had it good the first time.
Double O.
And then
double O.
Double O.
Double O
Among
linebacker.
possibly the strongest position groups on Senior Bowl rosters, it was a surprise to see single O jump off the defensive line tape like he did. A converted middle linebacker during his time at UCLA made the move to full-time edge at the end of the career and showcased his pass rush ability at the high level throughout the week. Friday's practice was dominated by single O as he set the tone for the entire defensive line unit and was named the defensive line's practice player of the week. You can read about his practice performance in our day 3 practice notebook. Then he followed with 2 sacks in the Senior Bowl. So not only did he have a great week of practice, but he then came out and settled business, getting 2 sacks in the game. So very hard name to pronounce.
Oluwafemi Oladejo.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I nailed it.
And he's got that size, 6'3", 250 linebacker edge, 20th ranked overall, 4.5 sacks. He's kind of got a little bit of that Debo look, which I like.
Yeah. R2J2 saying he's hearing the Eagles are linked to him for a draft. I don't know if he's talking about Oladejo or if he's talking about Betch, but I think he's talking about Oladejo.
What rank is he positionally? 4.7, 40, and these 40 times aren't guaranteed yet because the combine hasn't happened.
These are unofficial. The middle
he ranked that his positional group.
The middle one right here is the position rank 20.
Okay, 20. Okay, so maybe a day 3 guy.
Day 3 guy, the size is nice. Like one thing you can always fall back on these later round dudes is like we can't teach the size, obviously.
No.
And I know that's nothing revolutionary. So I like going maybe your first 1 or 2. I haven't really figured this out, but maybe the first 1 to 3 picks, you lean heavier onto the skill than you would on the body. And then after that, it's like, let's really focus on the people who have the best body for the position and then hope that we can teach them and sculpt them.
Yeah, well, I mean, if if his position ranking there's linebacker / edge, then he's that kind of hybrid. Like I think we're gonna see.
They
more
still
and more.
do that. They still do that weird thing though, where because the NFL hasn't actually committed to an edge rusher. I don't know actually the reason, but we get this mixed linebacker edge defensive
like Micah
end.
getting called a linebacker.
Yeah,
which is he's not.
They really just
like
need to make. They just need to commit like an edge rusher as an
actual position,
and a defensive end is a defensive end.
I agree,
but that's not our. That's not
we
our.
We like the size. We like the size. A little undersized for a defensive end, but
if he's going to play
a little bit,
yeah, and if he's going to play kind of a hybrid, that's a good size for a linebacker who could possibly do some more coverage against some tight ends. Nothing deep, we hope, but also be a threat when he's rushing. And I always look at that, and I'm like, they're either plus, they're probably minus under the weight that they're actually listed at. But I always think it's very possible for a player, especially a guy who's 6'3", he could probably put on 15 pounds in the offseason, and considering that he's already training and preparing, and then going into the NFL, like, give me 2 months, I could probably put on 6 or 7 pounds of muscle, and I'm 5'8", so I'm just, extrapolating from that these guys are fucking machines. I'm not.
You're gonna get into an NFL system.
Don't talk down to yourself like that.
Well, I just want you guys to talk me up. Then talk me up.
Talk them up, baby.
You could definitely. I think you could get 7 to 9 pounds.
7 to 9 pounds, or
you know what? I think so too, Anth. Okay.
Yeah. If you had the NFL dietitians, like nutritionists,
a nutritionist and a guy to motivate me to work out,
and a strength or conditioning coach, like
I'd show up and they'd be like, yeah, we just don't know if we can do anything. Do anything with you.
Like, Anth, actually, you can just go sit in the, I don't know, sauna, ice tub, whatever you want. Whatever you want, man. But also pay me $1 million, and then I might be really motivated.
Definitely. That's the thing I never got, and I know we're side questing here, is dudes that make the NFL and then lose motivation to work out or like watch film. It's like, man, you're getting paid millions of dollars to do this.
The only thing I can think of is they must have never liked the sport, but were just so fucking awesome at it that everyone
got by pure talent.
Yeah.
Just pure talent.
Yeah, that's it. And it might have been fun in high school, then less fun in college, and now it's completely not fun in the NFL.
Like, I mean, you if you watch any, and I actually really enjoy Hard Knocks in season because it goes all the way with the team.
Who are they doing this year?
Well, this last in season they did the AFC North.
Didn't really like the whole 4 teams.
I don't know.
As much as just a single team.
So I agree. Watching the single teams is great, but the 4 teams, I thought, because you're following them in season, and after a team gets kind of knocked out, it just continues with.
You know what they should do with that?
So you got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Well, you know what if they did that, they obviously are filming all of them just as much as they would for one, more than likely, and then making an edit.
Yep.
Why not? Then also release under episodes that are just like, okay, this is just all on this team. And now you've got 4
people would watch it.
Oh,
Yeah.
people would watch
those.
Put that on YouTube,
Yeah, people would
because you filmed it. That content is now just gonna have to be cut.
It's on their Patreon.
But sorry, what I was gonna get is you just see how many meetings and stuff you have, and I think when you get some of these guys who they don't have to go to class in high school. Maybe they're college, doesn't really care, and then all of a sudden you get to the NFL, and it's like, this is your fucking job. You have,
and you're not the best.
You're in a classroom for a majority of your day. It can be, it could be a defocusizer. Just made that word.
I do. Yeah. Hey, nice angle on that.
Thank you.
You rub $1 million into my nose, I'll do whatever the fuck you want.
Don't test me.
I'll try. I know you're not out there, but I know you heard that.
Ultra's going to show up in here in a second.
Gray Zabel, offensive lineman from North Dakota State. Great name, and when you see this image, you're going to fucking love it.
And this guy, this tight end has just moved right up.
He's O-line.
He's O-line.
This OL guy just moved right up Ant's DL.
Just like the defensive line, it's hard to stand out on the offensive front as well during events like this. However, Gray Zabel appeared to be a quick riser and earned the start at guard for the national team this week. North Dakota State consistently sends players to the Senior Bowl who continue to show their ability to compete with prospects from the biggest schools in the country. Add Zabel to the list. Positive. He started the game with a couple of tough reps against LSU's Savon Jones, but settled in and helped pave the way on the ground for Woody Marks from USC and Ollie Gordon II from Oklahoma State. He was voted the overall practice performer of the week after dominating individual drills and leading the charge across the practices as well.
Definitely gets an A+ for his photo here. This is exactly what you want your O-lineman to
Oh
look like.
yeah, definitely.
6 ranked O-line too on draft.
I want to say that our another fan favorite for us, Cody Mock, was also from North Dakota State.
I think you're right.
And he had a good season. He's had good seasons, hasn't he?
He's had a good season. Look at that. This guy looks like an in-shape Farva.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. He looks like Farva from Super Troopers, just not a fat tub of lard.
And you are right. Cody Mock did play for the Bisons in North Dakota State.
Sixth overall, ranked at his positional group, guys. I'd say if Zach Martin retires, are we in the
Zabel
market
business
for a guard? I don't know.
Are we in the gray market?
I'm considering, and even not, I'm considering Zach Martin retired because we can't.
Yeah, I'm kind of too. Or going to a different team.
Love the dude, and I would bring him back if he wanted to come back. Absolutely, but he's the next injury he gets could be the one that ends his career because he's just getting to the point where he's too old. Doesn't sound like from what he's talking about that he wants to go win a championship. So I think he's would be happy to return to Dallas. So for all that, that's why I would have him back. But I don't want to bring him back and then be like, okay, we're good at guard. Because these are things that I think make the most sense to draft and develop behind a guy like
you have a Hall of Fame. You have a first ballot Hall of Famer, Zach Martin.
Yep.
To shepherd your next
Well, he's
guy?
not re-signed. He's a
He's a
undrafted
free. If he
he's a free
does,
agent.
but even if he did, that would be my point. Is you still want to go out and look for the guy to replace him? Because if Brock Hoffman is that guy, that's great. I'm always looking, even on most like from my video game knowledge, guys. I have my starting lineup, and then I want at least one dude who's like, I don't know, a B- at the least, who can swing between two of those positions, whether it's center and guard or tackle and guard, and then play both. Like I just want the comfortability of. I just want to feel comfortable being like, if any of these guys go down, it's probably going to happen. These are 300-pound plus dudes who are banging heads all game. Like, you're just the percentage of an injury on each play is probably much higher than any other position on the field. So to have that stability or that additional depth, I'm for it all day. A bit of a safety net. I'm there all day. I do think there's a good chance, though, that Zach Martin just hangs up his cleats and he's not returning next year. So if that's the case.
Sorry, AJ. Looking at Zabel's stats here, though, like in his measurables, this guy's going to be I'd say probably a second-round pick just by looking at his quick measurables on NFL Draft Buzz. 6 at positional grade. I mean, guards don't really go as high as tackles do, but he knocks it out of the park with his measurables.
Well, and he's an OT at 6'6", so he's a little higher, a little taller than
but they called him guard. They called him a guard. Humans was calling him a guard, which is
maybe
they had him playing.
You know what?
Guard though.
Hang on.
They did have him play. They had him playing guard, so he might have been an OT at North Dakota State, but he was playing guard at the Senior Bowl.
We're gonna go to PFF real quick and just look at his.
Which is, to be honest, is a benefit to him if he ends up being guard because he has tackle experience.
So and when I'm looking at players to draft, knowing nothing about them, just purely looking at the numbers, the data. So take that for what you will. I always come down here for O lineman, and I don't mind that he committed to left tackle. That's totally fine. He's got over 1,000 snaps on right tackle and about 300 snaps at left guard. For me, he's got a versatility where it's like, especially with Cowboys, if we can find a replacement for Steele, even with his contract, I replace him.
Take it.
And I just keep Steele as the backup then. I just keep him as the backup. It's already spent money, whatever. I'll bring in the rookie and start him above. But so I'm just saying, like, I like this. Left tackle and right tackle experience. That's versatility. He can play both sides of the ball.
Me likey.
Poppy likey. Okay, Ad, you're up.
I am up. So we have Elijah.
Kill it.
Elijah Arroyo.
Oh, great. We got this fucking have fun out there.
Entering the week, Arroyo was projected day 2 tight end selection. However, the Frisco, Texas native, Texas, played so well in practice, he may have put himself in the first round conversation. Wow. He outperformed nearly every other player at a stacked tight end position and was able to see only limited action on Saturday. Only a few snaps on Saturday, and it was still enough to make an impact as he caught a 2-point conversion after his team was opening touchdown. Drop me down. Okay, that's it. So,
well, I want to lead out a little bit with this. So if he fringe got himself into the first round, he's kind of off our board.
He's in that middle zone. Yeah.
We have no chance at him. The only way is if he falls to the second round when we pick and then we take him. But if he's battling almost into the first round, I don't think we have a chance at him.
No.
And, like our boy BGJ came on last week. We were kind of shooting the shit about tight ends. And I think we came to the conclusion that, like, if there is a Brock Bowers type of dude out there, obviously take him. I don't know that any of us saw that, or I don't know if anyone sees that this year. That player may exist and probably does, because there is one of those.
Warren will be the top tight end, but he's more than likely not going to be a top 10 pick.
Right. So that kind of pushes all tight ends down then, right? Like,
totally.
Long and short of our conversation was we believe tight ends can be super impactful, just as impactful as a wide receiver one, if that's the game scheme that you have when you draft them and that's how you want to utilize them. But at the end of the day, crack him if you got him. Cowboys have invested a lot into tight ends. We have a core group of tight ends with Ferguson, Schoonmaker, and even Steven Joseph. Shit. Is it Johnson?
John Stevens.
John Stevens, who's never going to see.
You had it right. He's just a little shifted.
Well, Johnson, I was hoping, I'm just going to my my lineage, hoping that he's part of the tree. But we haven't seen him now. I don't know. I think his kind of time is starting to run out, and if he doesn't get on
Double
the field,
knee injury. Gee.
I mean, at some. So I'm fine with bringing in another tight end, but it's just not the need that the Cowboys have.
I can't see the Cowboys necessarily.
Not enough. Not in a top 3 pick.
Not in top 3 pick.
I can't see top 3 rounds.
Think about it.
You just can't do it.
Yeah, they spent that capital on Schoonmaker, who I think they're probably still thinking is going to pan out. But even,
Schoon, yeah, exactly.
But even still with like Fergie, they're going to look at it and they're going to look at last season as being inconsequential to this, because you had Dak gone for a majority of the season and Fergie was out. So you can't look at what Fergie did last year as a means to what he's going to be doing for them next year. Dak and Fergie do have chemistry together, right?
Totally. I think you're right, Ad. I don't think you can go tight end. I think the group needs one more year together.
Yeah,
I really do. I really do.
And you have the contract, so it's not like you're needing to make a decision.
Exactly.
We got the tight end.
Definitely. Keandre Jackson. Finally, it wouldn't quite be the Senior Bowl without spotlighting a small school performer. Jackson was the best of the bunch with a nearly perfect week, if it wasn't for a double pass touchdown allowed in the fourth quarter of Saturday's game. So what happened there is they did a little swing pass to a running back, and then the running back threw a touchdown. So that's what they're talking about there. He was also given a practice award as the top defensive back on the national squad after votes from his wide receiver and tight end teammates. Jackson finished his final season with Illinois State with nearly 100 tackles. I like that.
Yeah.
And 3 interceptions as a senior. The American team defeated the national team 22-19 in a thrilling finish at Hannock Whitney Stadium on the campus of South Alabama. Now let's look at who put together. Oh, I mean, we didn't need that last fucking paragraph, humans. I like that. 100 tackles from your DS.
The one thing.
What is DS? Defensive.
I know he's a defensive back. I think that's an error.
DB? Yeah. Okay. DB.
Keandre looks crazy as shit. He looks like he might be a character from a Wayans movie.
He kind of looks like
he looks like he fit in with the Can fan.
Well, oh hell yeah!
Go ahead, crack him. No, he looks like he's trying to. His costume's Cam Newton for Halloween.
No, he looks like his costume's Edward Scissorhands.
Well, there's nothing on Draft Buzz, unfortunately, dude. So I had to bring up this secondary. I don't know.
It's the small school.
It's a small school, and that's totally fine. 6'3", 215. That body, though, that speaks
good
to
size.
6'3", 215. Give me some Keandre.
100 tackles. That means he likes to ruck it up, get in there. I like that.
Well, what I would look at with a guy like this is, okay, if he can play DB, that's great, because a size 6'3", 215 with the skills to play defensive back, that's like really heard of. Where I think he's probably going to make more of his bread and butter is in a safety position potentially, because the size is just he's just so big. Like that's a huge
safety,
size.
6'3", 215. That's like someone pairing up with a tight end.
Pairing
right?
up
like
with the tight end.
Usually see a safety going that's 6'3", kind of pairing up with a tight end.
But also being able to really affect a run game too, if you're going to choose to have your safety come in and make some stops.
6'3", 215. Is he like a beanpole? Like that he's probably looking a little slim for that size.
Probably slim. But you juice him up.
But you think of that frame.
Give him
15
Hey,
once they get to the NFL and they start drinking that NFL juice.
That's some NFL juice.
Definitely, like, he could be 6'3", 225 easily. And that
now we're talking
is fucking a shocking. That's like, I mean, I've never seen a defensive back. I've never seen a defensive back like that. That's safety. So
give him 5 pounds per quad.
But hey,
we only want the weight into his quads.
Yeah.
DBs, I kind of also consider on the same, like how I was concerned with O-line.
Yeah.
I also am concerned with that with DB, because you look at how the NFL's transferred, and am I just fucking saying something that's so obvious into this passing game? Then obviously one of the most important pieces on a defense would be, okay, do you have cornerbacks who are able to
keep up
with these wide receivers if that's what they're going to be kind of giving you, teams are going to be utilizing. So I don't mind going and getting more depth at a defensive back, even though we do have Kalen Carson but we've already seen the last 2 years with injuries to both of our
main guys.
So,
but having a bigger body corner who can maintain the speed, like if we look at Marquise Bell dropping in and playing more of that linebacker role in previous years, you see the way that the NFL shifts from throwing to running. Having a guy who's a bigger body to keep up with the receivers, but also be able to help squash or hit the run,
muck it up
a little bit. I'm not opposed to something like that.
Well, and one thing that we can say, and I believe Bland does this better than Diggs, than our boy Diggy. No shot to him because he shouldn't have to deal with this, but tackling, right? And you get a cornerback who can tackle too, or at least has the weight on him,
or wants to tackle,
tackle.
Like isn't scared. Like how many times did we see Diggs just running with guys last year? Sorry.
Yeah.
It even that there was that viral clip of him coming out and getting mad at the reporter that had tweeted that he didn't want to tackle, but everyone knew it. Diggs wasn't in the business of wanting to tackle.
No. And you know what? I'm okay with that because it's like, look, that's not my skill set. Okay, totally get it.
If you're getting us 10 interceptions a year.
Yeah. It's exactly. Yeah. Then go catch the football.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're going to be a ball hawk, be a ball hawk.
You got to give us a 2-to-1 ratio of touchdowns against you versus interceptions. Then.
Long story short,
Long
short, interested in Keandre Jackson.
But we won't be able to draft him on PFF, unfortunately.
The one thing I don't like about Yeoman's stuff here is he's just giving an assessment. He's not saying how these players could slot into the Cowboys. So he's
letting you know.
He's leading up to the viewer. You're up, AJ.
Okay, Jordan Phillips.
How many players were? I thought there was only 5.
No,
there's a few more. It looks like 1, 2, just 3, 4,
Holy
5.
Fuck.
5 more.
Oh, did he go? Did he go from 5 from senior?
I think he did 5 from senior and 5 from. That's where he.
So just
that's what he got us.
No, hey, listen. If I say 10 players to watch out for, no one wants to read it. But if I say 5, I got you.
You got us.
Jordan Phillips, interior defensive lineman from Maryland. It could be argued that no one had a more complete week than Maryland defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, and I like the name. 2 first names with a plural on one of them. The 320.
He's related to Michael Phelps too. He's his cousin.
Is he?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, the answer is yes. 320-pounder showed his strength and quickness on the line of scrimmage, and he's NFL ready, dominating in both the 4 practice sessions, in both the 4 practice sessions and the game as well. Okay, so he dominated in all of the practice sessions and the game as well. Just helping you out here, Yeomans. Phillips finished his college career with a sack, but did tally 31 run stops and 26 pressures. He finished his college career without a sack, but he tallied 21 run stops. Yep, 26 pressures. That production paired with his Big Ten tape could present one of the great run stoppers available in this year's draft. Now, defensive interior, though, I think that's or defensive line at least. It's also in this draft is bountiful. There's a lot of opportunity.
It
right?
is. It really is. So I don't know if this guy's going to end up making the boards or not, but the word is he's 320 pounds and he's a real fish in the pool because he's related to Michael Phelps. And I would like to see if he has that swim move on the defensive line. But does it make you guys a bit gun shy? Another interior defensive lineman without a sack in his whole career at college?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make you gun shy a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, no, Poppy don't like that, and we might stay away from him. But you know what? I like the image. It's not the best one.
He looks like it took half of the face and then just
smeared it.
This
is
looks
very
like
asymmetrical face.
Holy shit.
Very asymmetrical.
I thought he had a tattoo on his forehead.
I think it's just bad lighting.
Yeah, it's the way the lighting is.
Yeah.
But when you had it over there,
Looks like he's wearing fucking shoulder pads.
I was like, yeah, this is like he's kind of like 21 Savage almost right now.
Guy's he looks like, what is he, 320? The crazy thing is he's 320, but he doesn't look like a fat guy.
6'3", 320.
I know.
That's scary. When they look in shape when they're 320.
Yeah.
That's scary. But it rings too much Mozzie Smith to me. Sorry.
I agree.
Okay, so Afton Chisholm, or Chisholm, however you want to call it.
I think it's Chisholm, but I like Chisholm.
Wide receiver Eastern Washington. Multiple wide receivers put together solid weeks of practice, but never really made an impact in game. Guys like LeJonte Wester out of Colorado and Keandre Lambert-Smith out of Auburn and Kanata Mumfield, Pittsburgh. Are you fucking with me, Yeomans, you motherfucker? Like,
What nailing these names, though. Nailing these names.
Yeomans, what the fuck are you doing to me? You knew it was my turn, you fuck.
No, you know what he did? He took the names from the Madden and college football. As quick side note here, it's really funny because they'll have like, Osa Odigizua name with a white, like skinny white punter. Like the names and the images don't match. It's like a guy named like Wing Chung, and he's like white,
right,
or black. It's like
totally off. Okay, so that allowed one receiving prospects to stand out from the rest. Afton Chisholm finished as the game's leading receiver, 4 receptions for 43 yards on 4 targets, including an acrobatic hurdle over a safety for a first down. Like to see that replay. He tallied an incredible 3,840 yards and 37 touchdowns during his time with the Eagles, not the Philadelphia Eagles. His wins this week happened with a quick release at the line of scrimmage and great ball tracking skills. Watch his name sneak up draft boards.
Okay.
Afton Chisholm, aka fuck, I'll kill you.
I've worked with this guy at McDonald's, and he's an asshole.
Look, this
guy has smoked meth out of a lifetime. 100%.
He's trying to do the Cooper Kupp with the beard. He's like, listen, Cooper. He's like hey, I like this. Kind of a little wily, kind of a little crazy. What's up, baby?
Can't tell if he's an IT worker or a meth head. Sorry, I just can't decide.
He's either
that's the Chisholm in you.
He either works in an office and really likes fuck, what's that called? Well, the joke's got
jokes going, but his teeth look great here.
CrossFit.
Thank you, Anth. Okay, let me try it again. Rewind it. He looks like he might either really love CrossFit and works in IT, or he's going to be an NFL player.
Hey, I mean, look,
I fumbled that, but we got it out.
From his psychopathic first photo to this, he's definitely a juggalo. I could tell you that much. He's definitely a juggalo.
100% he's a juggalo.
Hey, I'm a Chisholm guy.
What I meant meth head.
I'm a Chisholm guy.
Juggalo, meth head, pretty much same thing with each other.
I want to see some tapes on this boy.
Anth,
you're up.
Johnny Walker, baby, edge from Missouri. I've always been a Johnny Walker guy. There are times during these all-star events where certain players jump off the screen. Walker didn't even need the screen.
Ooh.
You could just see the box score from Thursday's game and see he had a good week. The Mizzou Tiger finished with 2 sacks and a forced fumble, pressuring the West backfield nearly once a possession. Paired with his consistent dominance in practice, Walker put together the best for edge rushers in the event. One scout in attendance said he may have put himself into the day 2 conversation with his length, which is 33-inch arms, and explosiveness of the line of scrimmage mentioned as a plus.
Yeah,
so he balled out. So day 2, that's day 2's two second round, third round is what they're saying.
So I used to
JWJ.
I really got into. Go ahead. You've got something.
Double R says, and this is on Chisholm, he doesn't work at McDonald's. He uses their Wi-Fi to play Madden in the bathroom.
Hey, we told you gotta. And he brings his own cup, his old McDonald's cup in to refill it, so that he can actually sit there and be like, "No, I'm a paying customer."
That's a great comment.
That's a great comment.
Double R.
Fuck you. You look like the guy. You look like a guy who'd go to McDonald's to steal their Wi-Fi and play Madden in the bathroom. Fuck.
Double R. That's why you're on the fucking cast, my dude.
That's funny.
First of all, Johnny Walker Jr. Great name.
JWJ.
Yeah.
Probably, if he was a country western star, would have maybe a top 10 album.
Yeah.
You know,
oh yeah, for sure.
In history, 6'3", 250. Not even really going to comment on the player as much.
This is your Madden thing, though. This is they pair a name with someone that doesn't look like he would match the name. He does not look like a Johnny Walker Jr.
No, he should be a white country western star.
Yeah.
Overweight.
Yeah,
with a beard.
Efton Kism, the last guy, kind of has a Johnny Walker Jr. name. Looks like a hillbilly. Kind of like.
Oh, yeah.
So, but
Efton.
Yeah, Efton. I dig this though. Johnny Walker Jr. Sorry.
But my comment is strictly on the website presentation here. Johnny Walker, the multi-Tigers.
You don't like the Mizzou Tigers?
No,
website?
this is better than the other one. Whoever the fuck the.
Oh.
Where is he?
Oh, guys, no, I was gonna say deep dive. You had to deep dive. There he is, Keandre Jackson.
So he's on whatever EWU, and their website was not as nice as the I don't know MU Tigers,
Missouri
Tigers.
Mizzou.
Okay, well, hey, moving on.
When we don't have draft buzz, we got to move on. So, is this me or is this who's up now?
This is me.
This is you.
Because you went then Anthony.
Right.
I get fucking another quarterback.
No,
this is bullshit.
Hey,
Cali, though.
You like your cornerbacks.
Noel Williams, cornerback from California. Williams didn't take long to show off the highly praised ball skill that he entered the week with. In the first one-on-one session with Denton, he broke up a pass against UNLV wide receiver Ricky White, but struggled to keep his footing on the late reps between the two. So maybe he's got some conditioning issues.
Yep.
Instead of sulking in his early struggles, he showed up early to the Sunday practice and never looked back. He was consistent in his footwork, stayed fluid in coverage, and provided a challenge to each receiver he was paired against. All capped off by a pass breakup that nearly saw Williams tip a pass to his safety help and call his teammate Marcus Harris for an interception in the first quarter of the game. So
fuck you, humans. Like, that's too descriptive.
Yeah,
it's too much.
Too descriptive, and it's like, why would you even have this guy on this list? Like, this Noel Williams sounds like he's a stretch to make the top 5.
Oh, does he? Maybe he's on draft buzz, and you should shut your fucking mouth.
And what is he ranked wise for?
46.
46.
So not looking good.
6'1", 200 pounds.
I'm not going to
hometown Oxnard.
4'5'2".
The smile.
Hey, Oxnard. Hey, okay.
Okay, fuck
I like
me,
that.
DJ.
I'm just looking at his face, and if he comes into a room with me, I'm thinking you're too soft, man. You got kind of like a soft looking face to me. Now that might be, I could be incorrect. Just saying, I'm not loving this photo, and that's what we're kind of basing off of.
We judge more than anything off.
A lot of it is based off of the photo.
Too relaxed.
6'1" though, 200.
Yeah, you're saying too relaxed for being the dog that you need.
Too relaxed. Give me some dog in there. I feel like you would definitely be able to sell me insurance. Like I'm buying insurance from this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm buying that he's going to start for me on CB. But I could be wrong.
Joaquin Phoenix from the Joker for me.
Yeah. 6'1". Oh no, that was I wasn't doing Joaquin. I was doing fucking.
You were doing Heath Ledger. Or you're doing that dude who's on Instagram who keeps doing his Joker outfit.
Yeah, right. AJ's Jared Leto Joker. Let's be real.
I am. Well, you guys know I've sent my dirty underwears to you and then asked you to wash them for me.
Didn't we talk about this? We were next Halloween. We were gonna do all renditions of the Joker.
We got a bunch of next Halloween outfits,
and none of us are the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah, you can't be.
Jared Leto, you're Jack Nicholson, and I'm the fucking dude from the '60s Batman.
Okay, yeah.
The '60s one's I think a great rendition of the Joker. Honestly,
Chandler Martin, linebacker from Memphis. Throughout the season, the Memphis Tigers were more so known for their offensive prowess. Despite the incredible production for Martin at linebacker, he finished as a first-team All-American Athletic Conference selection and the defensive MVP of the 2025 Frisco Bowl. He stepped into the Shrine Bowl week and began with an interception in coverage against Miami receiver Sam Brown on the first day. Bitch. A little undersized, he's shown an ability to tackle consistently, cover consistently, and perform against a higher level of competition like Florida State, West Virginia, and the players in East-West Shrine Bowl. That's a pretty good trio. The East roster dominated the 100th East-West Shrine Bowl, winning 25-0 in the first shutout that the All-Star game has seen since 1969. And since we have Elber Fuss as our defensive coordinator, he's going to be looking for those linebackers to like pack it up and pack it in.
The Shrine Bowl just seems like guys that are going to be playing in the CFL. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're like XFL. And I'm sure you're going to be able to, but they're not on Draft Buzz. And I'm glad that we did the 5 and 5. I mean, he's throwing up the upside down M for Memphis. But what do you guys think? Like, is there much to these guys? Or any of the 5 from the East-West Shrine Bowl going to be in the NFL?
UDFAs, man. I'm looking at these guys as using it. And you know what? I appreciated it. First of all, Kyle Yeomans, we do appreciate you doing this kind of deep dive for us because first of all, we're not doing it. You stupid son of a bitch.
We have a hard time deep diving up to the 3rd round, let alone the East-West Shrine game. So yeah, Yeomans.
Well, sorry, we actually don't have a trouble. We're not. It's not part of our routine, as like just in regular. Like it's just the last 2 years that we've been really getting into college ball, so it's not part of our everyday. But the amount that
we're coming into all of these players.
Yeah, and like look at when we hear people that we like, we start to fucking go down that path. So like
our villain arc.
Like some of these guys will pop up. Yeah, we're definitely not going to go to a lot of these smaller schools, obs. But you chat or humans, you tell us a name, we're gonna fucking deep dive.
Oh yeah, and chat like
we're deep diving right now.
We're throwing it out to you, chat. That like you have any names when we start diving into this at the end of the
next week.
Basically, yeah, starting next Wednesday, essentially. Basically.
CanFan mock draft V.10.
The official CanFan 1.0.
Yeah,
so if
1.0, baby.
If you want to help influence our draft board, all you needs to do is show up every single draft and continually pound that player into our minds. Find the best photos you can of them. Find the coolest stat. That's how you sway our opinion.
DM us a fucking
off the field story.
Yeah, off the field story.
DM us a fucking dog link of them.
You know, I know we're about to call ourselves out, guys. We didn't even touch the Super Bowl, and you know,
oh my god,
it's literally and I'm gonna make it short and sweet. It is literally the worst Super Bowl for any Dallas Cowboys fan. At the start of the season, if you said pick 2 teams that you don't want to watch in the Super Bowl, I would have said 1, the Philadelphia Eagles, and 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's how it feels.
It's not Dallas Cowboys fan. I think if you talk to a majority of people out there, they don't want to see this type of Super Bowl. It's a retread. It's a retread from a few years ago. Like no one's excited.
You know what?
Sorry, go ahead. I will say this, just because every time people would see, I was in Vegas the last couple of days.
Were you?
Yeah,
guys. I can't talk right now. I'm in Vegas. I was in Vegas.
But because I'd be sporting a different type of cowboy hat every day, I'd get people kind of saying stuff, and then anybody who wants to talk ball, we start talking.
Pussy.
Yeah. Fucking
Lindsay's having to hold you back. Adam, no. Adam, don't.
But
Adam's had too many dollar hot dog, and he spent $10 on hot dogs and beers.
I will say there was more people who were rooting for the Eagles that I talked to because they don't want to see Pat Mahomes. And
and that's the shitty thing that is the shitty thing that we're entering in. We have a hate for the Eagles, and a lot of people do. And especially if you're watching any sort of content that comes out about Eagles fans, like I don't know how you could ever like that organization at this point. The fans, and sure, they might say, "Oh, it's just a few bad eggs." Well, that is true. But then there's a bunch of people just standing around watching this shit happen week after week, and it's fairly consistent.
I can't fucking say. I've seen too many videos where they're grabbing the toques or the beanies off of people's heads and throwing it. It's not just one video. It's not like just that guy that's
technically
throwing. You see people grabbing and throwing. I can't stand that.
And it sucks because it's like, what are you going to do? You're just going to have to let that go and eat the cost. But that's technically an assault, I believe.
Fellas, that's why we might never be able to go to Philly.
I don't know. I'm scared to go to Philly.
I'm going down. I'm taking my beats on camera.
Hey,
like, it's happening.
Look, when it happens, we'll consider it.
The other side, cross that bridge when it happens.
We'll cross that bridge when.
Let's just hope Dallas
when Dallas plays in
Philly.
Stabbed. When Dallas plays in Philly, we obviously have to do it. It's just going to take a lot of. We're going to have to. Chat, we're gonna have to organize with you a fucking group.
Probably has to be a 10 a.m. game.
Because all we need is one asshole to be like, those are the guys that fucking said Philly sucks. And now we're, martyrs basically running
and then I say, hey, I'll find you the video. I told Philly Eagles sports guy to suck my balls. Yeah. But on that note, guys, hey, if you know a Philadelphia Eagles fan who's about to be cheering for his team on the Super Bowl, because you know the Can fanboys are going to be doing it. You go right up to his face and you tell him to go fuck themselves.
And we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Sunday, baby.
Super Bowl. Chat. Hey,
Last
love
week
you,
of the year,
chat.
baby.
Love you,
Bring your
chat.
Speedos. We're getting hot in studio.
We're
Ants
gonna be
is
like
coming in.
We're gonna be like those Twitch chicks that we're just gonna be sitting in the hot tub.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
hot. All right.
And
We'll see you Sunday, baby.
we are